The massive AGT stage feels even bigger when 12-year-old Rafael Cruz walks into the spotlight. His small hands squeeze the microphone as he tries to steady his breathing. The audience murmurs softly, some smiling, some curious, a few whispering, "He looks so young." Simon leans back in his chair with that familiar doubtful expression, but Rafael politely introduces himself, his voice barely above a whisper. When he says he will sing an Elvis classic, the judges raise their eyebrows. Elvis is dangerous territory for even the best adult singers. The music begins. The slow, iconic opening of "Can't Help Falling in Love." And then Rafael sings. The moment his voice fills the room, everything changes. His tone is warm, golden, incredibly steady for a child. The soft Elvis-like vibrato sends a ripple through the theater. People stop moving. Some gasp quietly. Heidi's hands fly to her mouth. Sophia's eyes widen. Simon leans forward, stunned. Halfway through, the crowd is already standing. A woman in the front row begins crying. The final note is long, powerful, perfect. Silence, then an explosion of cheers. All four judges rise instantly, an extremely rare response. Simon shakes his head in awe and says, "Rafael, you just created a moment we'll never forget." Moments after his audition goes viral inside the AGT theater, Rafael Cruz steps backstage still shaking from adrenaline. A staff member wraps a blanket around him, and his mother pulls him into a tight hug. The cameras follow closely as Rafael wipes away tears, not from fear, but from disbelief. "I didn't think they would stand up for me," he says softly. Then comes the part that America never knew. His mother reveals that Rafael grew up in a small province in the Philippines where money was tight and electricity didn't always work. His grandfather, whom he calls Lolo Ben, was the one who introduced him to Elvis. They had an old radio, cracked and taped on one side, and whenever Rafael was sad, Lolo Ben would tune it to Elvis songs. When he sang, his mother says, the whole house felt lighter. Even your Lolo. But months before Rafael's audition, his grandfather passed away. Rafael kept singing Elvis songs to feel close to him. "That's why I sang today," he admits. "I wanted Lolo to hear me, wherever he is." Clips show Rafael singing at fiestas, outside Sorry Sorry stores, and in school hallways. America isn't just discovering a talent. They're discovering a story worth rooting for. The AGT quarterfinal stage is louder, brighter, and far more intense than Rafael expected. The theater is packed, and millions are watching live. But when the spotlight hits him, he becomes still, focused. He's dressed in a simple white suit inspired by early Elvis concerts, not flashy, just meaningful. Simon smiles as if he already knows something big is about to happen. The band begins the opening riff of Suspicious Minds. Instantly, Rafael transforms. Gone is the shy boy from auditions. He moves with confidence, sliding across the stage with a mini Elvis swagger that sends the crowd into screams. His voice is richer, stronger, bursting with controlled growls and classic Elvis phrasing. Every note is deliberate. Every gesture feels natural. Halfway through the performance, the camera pans to the judges. Heidi is bouncing in excitement. Howie is shaking his head in disbelief. Sophia calls out, "Look at him. He's owning the whole room." When Rafael hits the final explosive, we're caught in a trap. The audience is already on their feet. The entire theater becomes a roar of applause. Simon can't stop laughing, not out of humor, but shock. "You just became a contender for the win," he says. And suddenly, Rafael isn't just a kid singing Elvis. He's a star rising in real time. Finals night is electric. The stage glows gold, the audience hums with anticipation, and millions around the world wait to see what 12-year-old Rafael Cruz will do next. He enters slowly, wearing a black suit with a small silver pin, his grandfather's. The lights dim, and the first soft notes of "If I Can Dream" echo across the theater. Rafael closes his eyes and sings the opening line with a trembling sincerity that instantly silences the crowd. His voice is deeper now, shaped by weeks of training and courage, but still filled with the same warm Elvis-inspired soul that made his audition legendary. The backdrop shows gentle black and white images of Elvis performing, but halfway through, the screen fades. Suddenly, photographs of Rafael's family appear, his mother, his siblings, and finally, a smiling image of Lolo Ben, the grandfather who introduced him to Elvis. The entire audience gasps. Rafael's voice cracks just slightly, but he keeps going, pouring every ounce of emotion into the song. By the final soaring note, the theater is already on its feet. Heidi wipes tears. Howie places a hand over his heart. Sophia whispers, "That was beautiful." Simon stares at Rafael for a long moment before saying, "That wasn't a performance. That was a legacy."